Bitcoin is crawling towards an important resistance level. If we can break this resistance I'm seeing in the chart, Bitcoin could be setting itself up for the next big leg up, and I'm going to be positioning myself to trade some altcoins. If you guys want to see the key levels, we're going to break that down and a lot more. Smash on the likes, don't forget to subscribe, check out the links in the description to BYBIT and BitGet, the two exchanges I use to trade with. Now guys, as you can see here on the 4-hourly chart, Bitcoin is riding its EMA ribbon very, very nicely. It came down here, kind of touched it almost, just right above it nicely, and is bouncing nicely here on the 4-hourly chart. But we need to break above the resistance being provided by all of these candle closes. If I drop this down to the hourly chart, you will start to see where this resistance is, right? There's a bunch of resistance where these candlesticks close. If we take the peak one here, you're looking at 28.7 roughly, all the way up to here, which is about 29. So that 28.7 to 29,000 level mark is very, very important. That's also where we got rejected here on October the 2nd, a couple of weeks ago. So if we can break through these key levels on Bitcoin, if we can get a 4-hourly close above 28.7, I'm expecting a nice leg up here on Bitcoin. Now, if you look at it from the 4-hourly chart, nice and positive, right? The EMA ribbon has flipped. We're getting good extension in that EMA ribbon, and that's hugely bullish here on this time frame. If we drop it down to the daily time frame, something also important is going on, right? The EMA ribbon's extended very nicely. We're managing after 2 days of red here, where we were consolidating, to bounce quite strongly. This is nice. And again, we've got plenty of room to call off. If Bitcoin wants to call off, it can come down to 27.5 here, touch its EMA ribbon, and it's still a bullish trend. So things are looking quite positive here from Bitcoin. If we show you this on a weekly, remember, I wanted this weekly candle to close. So far, it's brilliant. We've got a bullish engulfing candle. That's a huge sign of a bullish reversal. Remember, we've had 2 weeks to the downside here. At one point last week, we were worried we would close below our EMA ribbon, but now a big, powerful weekly candlestick. Now, of course, there's still 3 days left to go for this candlestick, right? The bears can come in, step in, and try to close us back here lower. But as long as we can hold above this candle here, anything really above 27.9, and we've got a bullish engulfing candle, and that's a hugely positive sign. Now, on the weekly time frame, what do you notice? We've got some important levels to clear through, right? And those levels start between here at 30,000 up towards 32. And really 32 is the high we need to break. So we need to get that higher high on the weekly chart above 32. If and until we get that, you guys have to be very cautious. Yes, it's nice and it's an upward trend right now, but this could still be a head and shoulders pattern with bearish intentions, right? This could just be a nasty head and shoulders pattern driving us to the downside. So make sure you watch out for that on the weekly time frame. Another thing that's important to look at is the Bollinger Bands. Let me pull out the Bollinger Bands. And again, if you're not familiar with any of these TA tools, make sure you check out my TA course, ijaz.uk/TA, where I walk through all of these things, how to use the Bollinger Bands, how to use the EMA ribbon, how to use VPVR, how to spot, head and shoulders patterns, cup and handle patterns. All of that is in ijaz.uk/TA. If you then want to actively trade with us, make sure in our Telegram group, ijaz.uk/TG, to take advantage of the altcoins I'm trading specifically. So something really important is going on here on the Bollinger Bands. Now, if you understand Bollinger Band terminology, like again we go through in the course, you will know that you've got this upper band and you've got this lower band, okay? So those are very important levels. But then you've also got the center line. The center line of the Bollinger Band can act as support and it can act as resistance. So look at it here. It acted as support. The bears tried to push it down below the center line. They couldn't, and we ran up all the way back to the top line again. This time we break below it with a powerful candle, and by breaking through it, it then meant our demise all the way to the bottom of the structure. Now you can see we're working our way into the center line, and the bears tried to reject it. They tried their best to reject us here from the center line. But the bulls are breaking through it this week, and that's why this weekly candlestick, which closes in 3 days, is so important. If we can break above it, we can start our journey to work towards the top of the channel, which gets you back at the levels here of 31.4. And remember, I just showed you 32,000 is that higher high. Hold up, guys. If you're looking to actively trade and you're not in our free Telegram group, ijaz.uk/TG, make sure you're in there. I share free trade alerts plus TA setups of exact exactly how I trade altcoins and profit successfully. Also, there is a VIP group where you get regular VIP trade alerts with the exact trades I'm taking. So definitely check that out. Ijaz.uk/TG. I'll see you on the inside. Let's now switch this down to the daily chart. And on the daily chart, what do we see? We already a couple of days ago worked our way to the top of the Bollinger Band. Now, what typically happens when you get to the top of the Bollinger Band? You get rejected, right? The top yellow line acts as rejection, and you can sometimes work your way to the center line. If not that, you can break structure of the Bollinger Band to change the direction of it, right? You can break through it and start setting yourself up for an exponential move. So when I look at this, you have to look at on the daily chart, just like I showed you with the EMA ribbon. I said that we're expecting a little bit of pullback. Do not be surprised. And look how the center line of the Bollinger Band ties in exactly to where I said that do not be surprised if we saw a pullback at 27.6. So a pullback to 27.6 is perfectly healthy as long as we find support from this region here that we can bounce and then work our way again up towards the yellow, up in this region, up towards that 29 and onwards. Okay, so that's what I'm monitoring here on the daily chart. And then we can drop it down even further to the 4-hourly chart, and we can look at the same structure. And on the 4-hourly chart, of course, we're very bullish, right? We've managed to ride above our EMA ribbon, and again, you can see us bouncing from the center line, right? We worked our way up here. We tried to break structure. We did with the, of course, spot ETF fake rumors that tricked all of us, and then we consolidated sideways into the center line. Now we're bouncing from the center line, but can we bounce powerfully past the levels I was saying, past 29, and start creating higher highs up here? So the Bollinger Band is a very useful tool to give us some structure. And again, if you use that in conjunction with the EMA ribbon, you can start to see the key levels in the chart. Now, let's also take a look at some of our other TA. Let's take a look here at the key structures we had drawn in the charts. And you guys will know that we were in a big ascending channel, right? We were in this big ascending channel and we broke down from it. When we broke down this initial time, we collapsed all the way to the neckline and it looked like we were forming a double top pattern. And we managed to bounce from it, which is fantastic. But what do you notice? All that happens is this bounce shows a little bit of curling over, right? So this was your left shoulder. This is your head. This could easily be a right shoulder if we come back to the neckline of 24.8. So it's very, very important here that this latest move, however long it wants to take, it breaks structure and eventually we post a higher high above this high here. Okay, that's really, really important. And ideally, we want to work our way back into the channel and start behaving back in this upward trend again. And that way, you can then write this off as just a blip, and now we're back in the structure. What's worrying is if we start to curl over. If we start to see this happening, and we see some weakness, and it's starting to come back down again, then this pattern can start to play out to break us to the downside. Okay, so those, we're not out of the blue of these price targets. So when I call out price targets, such as heading back to 24.8, even heading down to the next pivot point down here at 20,000. From a technical perspective, you can't rule those out yet. They're still in play because we've not managed to post a higher high. Therefore, we've not kept our upward trend. So just wanted to clarify that for you guys as well. The other thing worth noting is that this move we're seeing right now is definitely a Bitcoin-led move, right? Bitcoin's moving 0.6% today and is leading the Bitcoin dominance to go up about 0.4% as well. So you can see Bitcoin dominance climbing. Now, why is that significant? It's significant because for many, many weeks and months now, I have said that there could be another leg up for dominance. We were monitoring it here in this channel. And I said, watch for the breakout. And we did get the breakout, right? And then after we had the breakout, we had a slight retest, and now it's bouncing. And when it's bouncing, it's breaking past the previous rejection area. This is where we got previously rejected. So the next level of resistance for the Bitcoin dominance is 53%, which we're getting closer and closer to. We're at 52.2. And then the next line is at 59. And a lot of people are like, no, we're not going to go there. All coins are going to do really well. But you guys, you have to understand, when I studied the previous cycle, this Bitcoin dominance ran up to 73%. Yes, it ran up from those lows down to 73%. Then it fell a little bit into the halving, fell some more, rallied again, then all coins went and had their moment. Okay, so it's quite a distance away from the halving that you then saw altcoins really start to take strength. So do not be surprised to see Bitcoin dominance go on another leg. I said that from a down here. I said that from, way earlier this year, saying, guys, watch out for Bitcoin dominance. You've got to eat your veg. You've got to have Bitcoin in your portfolio because it can go on another leg. Now, you can make the argument that maybe it won't go to 73% again. The market is much mature. There's some bigger altcoins like Ethereum and Solana, and therefore they're going to take up. Yeah, okay, fine. You can have that argument argument, maybe it won't go to 73%. But for it to not have another leg up towards 53, where it's getting to now, and then 59, those are the minimums I expect us to kind of head up to here on Bitcoin dominance. I can still see some more pain for altcoins and more relative strength for Bitcoin as we head into that. If you then marry on top of that this whole Bitcoin ETF narrative, which is going to continue, right, all the way to the end of this year, and the deadline on the 10th of January for the first one as well, that's going to further give a wind behind the sails of Bitcoin relative to altcoins. This is why it's critically important that if you're one of those people with just altcoins in your portfolio, you're going to be feeling that a lot. And that's a mistake I've made in previous cycles, and I've learned to tell that story, because now, like I always say to you guys in this content, I've been saying for years in these videos, you've got to eat your veg, you've got to have some Bitcoin, you've got to have some Ethereum, you've got to do the boring stuff before you have your dessert, which is going and buying some exciting 1000x gems of altcoins. Because the reality is, when the market is like this, only Bitcoin will show you shoots of green, Bitcoin will show you relative strength, and altcoins will just keep getting lower and lower and grinding lower. And that is the depths of a bear market. So there you have it, guys. Those are the key levels I'm seeing on this Bitcoin chart. Make sure you watch out for Jerome Powell and the various Fed officials who are speaking today. I will post those updates if there's anything pertinent in our Telegram group, ijaz.uk/TG. I'll see you there, and I'll see you in the next one.